What is Heatseeker? In Heatseeker, you hit the ball and the ball goes towards your opponent's net. It is very easy to put shots on net, allowing players at various skill levels to perform well if they can hit the ball. What is the meta? The meta is the most effective technique available. The meta for Heatseeker involves 3 positions: offense, midfield, and defense. If you're unfamiliar with these positions, I would recommend checking out my friend Lydipai on YouTube. I will link his videos in the description. They give a great overview on all 3 of these positions. Now that we understand the fundamentals of the various positions of Heatseeker, let's dive even deeper into Heatseeker. How do you win games? You score. How do you lose games? You allow opponents to score more than you. This leaves 2 win conditions. You either outlast your opponents or you score on them more than they score on you. At a lower rank, such as bronze, silver, gold, plat, or diamond, you can win most games simply by outlasting your opponents. However, at a higher rank, such as champ, grand champ, or SSL, you will likely need to outscore your opponents, as higher skill players are more capable of scoring on your net. Since everyone probably wants to win higher ranked tournaments for those awesome tags, let's get into how to score. There are 4 meta ways to score on your opponents: bumping, redirecting, slice and dice, and the double tap. If you want to consistently outscore your opponents, you should be consistent in at least 2 of these categories. Let's start with bumps. Bumps are very helpful to catch opponents off guard, often resulting in a free goal if timed well. A common misconception is that demos are actually better than bumps. In reality, a well-timed bump will put an opponent further out of position than a demo, especially with the new respawn mechanics. You should try to emphasize contact over power. A light tap will often off-balance your opponent, making them miss the ball. Redirecting. A redirect is when a player changes the direction of the ball into the opponent's net. Redirecting arguably has the highest skill ceiling of any offensive mechanic in Heatseeker, since each car has a different hitbox, allowing players to hit different parts of the net with different touches on the ball. We'll dive into more specific redirects later in the video. The slice and dice. The slice and dice is the best way to outplay an opponent in Heatseeker, and is well worth taking time to practice. Slice and dice is essentially passing. However, sometimes passing can be with yourself. Not every touch on the ball should be a shot. For example, when a ball is slow and you're far away from the net, like midfield, opponent will likely save a redirect, sending the ball back to your net. Instead of shooting the ball on net, the slice and dice emphasizes hitting the ball on the back wall, giving your opponents a decision. This will give them a choice. They can either try and read the back wall and leave the net open if they miss, or sit in net and allow you to maintain possession. In any competitive sport, teams emphasize maintaining possession because it limits the chances your opponent will have to score on your net. Maintaining possession also allows for more opportunities against your opposition if done correctly. With the slice and dice, you can also use the back wall to pass to your teammate, allowing for passing plays to further tear apart their defense. The double tap. People often glamorize this technique, a seemingly unstoppable skill that leaves opponents on the back foot. While a double tap most definitely can, there are a few moments where this is actually the most appropriate scoring condition. The only time I would recommend a double tap is if your opponents are not on the back wall, not beating you to the ball, and not threatening a 1v1 on your net if you miss. The double tap can be an extremely effective shot, however it is a double-edged sword, often resulting in a dangerous counterattack if you miss. There are 2 more extremely effective scoring methods that both involve redirecting the ball. The first of the 2 is the kickoff. After getting scored on, your team is given an opportunity to redeem yourselves with the starting possession on the following play. There will be 2 kickoffs that I will be covering: the set play kickoff and the 3-man kickoff. The set play kickoff involves one player passing to a pre-jumped teammate and that teammate redirecting the ball into the opponent's net. When to not do a set play? When you're getting pre-jumped by an opponent, the ball can easily go back into your net. If this is happening, try faking the set play and instead passing it low. The 3-man kickoff is one of the most methodical kickoffs in the game, allowing for multiple variations. The one I will be showcasing will be the most simple and easy to pull off. The 3-man kickoff involves all players on the team. The defender passes the ball to either the offensive or midfield player, and that player passes it to the remaining player, hopefully scoring an open net. I'd recommend practicing this one in a private match prior to attempting it in a game, as it takes a few attempts to get it down. The second method of redirecting is the jaw shot. The jaw shot is the most effective way to score on a 1v1 opportunity. The jaw shot is when you drive in front of the ball, like reverse shadow defense, and doink the ball as close as you can to the opponent's net. What does this do? It threatens a fake, allowing the ball to roll into the net when not defended properly, and it also threatens a shot on any spot in the net, leaving defenders to wonder where they need to be. It gives defenders very little time to react, since you ideally want to be as close to the net as possible before shooting the ball. The draw shot also requires practice, as this method of redirecting can be very disorienting if you are unfamiliar with the curve of the ball. Now I just gave you all of these tools to score, but what is stopping another player from using all of these techniques on you? Good D. Demos are absolutely obnoxious to avoid, especially in 2v2 since you have little help from your teammate. However, there are ways to avoid your opponents. I like to keep track of a few things before developing a DDS, or Demo Dodge Strategy. Number 1. Are they capable of redirecting the ball into your net? If not, then the only thing that you need to worry about is dodging the bumps. Number 2. Are they getting creative with their bumps? For example, are they intentionally bumping you out of the air, or do they attempt to bump you off the back wall? After about 30 seconds of bump avoidance, you're usually able to develop a DDS. For players that can't redirect, you have no reason to push the ball. Rushing the ball puts you further out of net, and if you get bumped, it can lead to an easy goal for your opponent. For opponents that are very one-dimensional with their bumps, you can also play on the back wall, making it very easy to see the demoer at all times. I also like to mix in evasive maneuvers, as you want your movement to be as unpredictable as possible to make demoing even harder for your opponent. Redirect defense plays differently in 2v2 and 3v3. In 3v3, you have a midfield player, whose objective is to assist you in coverage. However, in 2v2, you're left alone. By general rule of thumb, only push if your opponent's fake will still go in your net. What you're doing is limiting the amount of angles they have to score on you, while also giving them less time to make an adjustment to score. This does leave your net open, however, if you're fast enough, it won't matter. When you actually need to respect the shot, I would recommend implementing shadow defense from a distance, starting from your near post. If done correctly, this will cover all angles of a potential redirect. When an opponent is maintaining possession in your half, it is incredibly important to maintain composure. You are the last line of defense, so any overcommit or a miss will result in a goal if your opponents can capitalize. Trust your teammates. Since the ball moves so fast, many opportunities can be lost by double committing on a ball. What could have been a free 1v1 turns into a free ball for your opponent, which will not relieve any pressure. Ideally, your midfield players should try to read the back wall when they can. If it comes down to defending a shot, remember that most people are pretty bad at Heatseeker still, so a well-placed shot is unlikely. Double taps are only dangerous if you have no one defending the back wall. No back wall defense allows opponents to maintain possession, eventually leading to a kill shot if not taken care of quickly. If you notice your opponent has a tendency to hit it to your back wall, start driving up there before they touch the ball. Odds are, it will be a very easy ball for you to pass to your teammate. If instead they decide to shoot it, make sure you're in a position to also cover that threat as well. Most double taps start from the midfield, which should give you plenty of time to react to either a back wall touch or a shot. It is detrimental that all teammates make an effort to play defense on kickoff. Kickoff is by far one of the easiest ways for opponents to score if they are not defended properly. One player should always cover a high pass, while the remaining player should cover a shot, in case your teammate is beat. In 3v3, the third player should set on back wall, in case the player attempts to pass to their teammate off of your back wall. While being an incredibly powerful shot, the shot does have one disadvantage, that being, the shooter goes in blind to your positioning. This allows you to push the ball without them knowing, usually resulting in a free counterattack. If your opponent starts to wisen up and touch it earlier, you can always fake a push with an audio cue and sit back to cover the shot. A final recommendation is that you should always queue these tournaments with a friend when possible. Not only are they incredibly fun, but players of low skill levels can beat SSLs when they are well prepared. Queuing with a friend allows you to coordinate positions, as well as passing gets much easier. If you're looking for friends to play with, I would recommend you join the Heatseeker Discord, as many community members will be willing to play with all of you. If you enjoyed, I hope you leave a like, maybe subscribe, and I hope to see you guys in the game.